All right, let's just jump right in with a wild one. A question that sounds like something straight out of sci-fi, but if you really think about it, it forces you to question everything. I mean everything about life, society, what it even means to be human. So, what if? What if we breathed carbon dioxide? And look, right away, let's be clear, this isn't some tiny biological tweak we're talking about. No, this is like flipping a giant switch on the engine of life itself. The whole planet, our entire ecosystem, it runs on this very specific give and take. And we're going to imagine what happens if we just turn it completely upside down. I mean, look at this. It's kind of perfect, right? Such an elegant cycle. We breathe in what plants breathe out. They breathe in what we breathe out. It's the ultimate partnership, really. But what happens if 8 billion of us all of a sudden just switch teams? So where does this all start? Well, the most immediate change, it's going to happen right inside our own bodies. We wouldn't just be breathing a different gas. No, we'd have to become a fundamentally new kind of creature altogether. The term used in the source material is evolutionary alchemy. And you know what? That is the perfect way to put it. This isn't just regular evolution, not by a long shot. It's a transformation so big, so profound, it feels almost magical, like turning the lead of our animal biology into the gold of a plant-like existence.
Okay, so how would this even work, practically speaking? Let's break it down. First, our lungs. They'd have to completely re-engineer themselves to capture CO2. Then, our blood. It would need a whole new molecule to carry that CO2, so goodbye hemoglobin. Our cells themselves would need to develop their own little power plants, kind of like the chloroplasts you find in leaves. And our skin? Get this, it would basically become a living solar panel. We might even turn green. We would literally wear our energy source.
And the engine driving this whole transformation is, of course, photosynthesis. We'd essentially be hijacking the single most important energy-creating process on the entire planet. Think about it. Taking sunlight, water, and the very air we used to exhale, and turning it directly into fuel for our bodies? Wild. So try to imagine your day-to-day life. You wouldn't wake up craving coffee and toast. You'd wake up hungry for light. Your lunch break wouldn't be about grabbing a sandwich. It would be about finding the sunniest spot you can to just bask. Food? That becomes a secondary thing, you know? Maybe a little something for a cloudy day. And at night, your body would just naturally power down. A deep, quiet rest, completely in sync with the world around you. Okay, so we've completely re-engineered ourselves. But what happens when a species of 8 billion brand new photosynthetic humans is unleashed on the planet? This is where the ripple effects get truly, truly massive. This is where the entire ecological dynamic gets flipped on its head. Before, we had that perfect partnership with plants, right? Well, not anymore. Now we're direct competitors. We're both fighting for the exact same resource, carbon dioxide. We would literally be sucking the air right out from under the world's forests, and that could lead to a catastrophic collapse of vegetation across the globe. And the effect on the atmosphere? Whoa. It would be absolutely staggering. With billions of us inhaling CO2, the levels would just plummet. And what are we breathing out? Oxygen. So much oxygen that the concentration in the atmosphere would skyrocket to dangerously unstable levels. So you've got this 1-2 punch of catastrophic consequences. First, with way less CO2, the greenhouse effect gets much weaker. We could be looking at a new ice age. And second, all that extra oxygen turns the entire planet into a giant tinderbox. The smallest spark could ignite these insane, uncontrollable wildfires. So you've got a cold planet that's also incredibly flammable. Not a great combo. All right, so our bodies are different, the planet is different, which means our civilization would have to be rebuilt from the ground up. I mean, think about it. Pretty much everything we've ever built, our economies, our cities, it's all based on the need for food and energy. So what happens when that core driver just vanishes? Entire pillars of our world would just evaporate. Agriculture, the thing that's been the foundation of civilization for 10,000 years, gone. The very ideas of hunger and famine, a thing of the past. The whole fossil fuel industry, totally relevant. Eating might just become this weird old-fashioned hobby some people still do, like collecting stamps. So what does the new society look like? Well, cities would probably be redesigned to be giant light catchers, maybe huge towers covered in mirrors. Your social status, your wealth, it could all come down to how much direct sunlight your apartment gets. You'd see this brand new form of inequality emerge, one based not on money but on pure geography. Live near the equator, you're the new 1%. Live in the polar regions, you're struggling. Humanity might even go back to being nomadic, constantly following the sun around the planet. And this quote from the source material just nails it. The politics of light would replace the politics of resources. It's so perfect. Wars wouldn't be fought over oil or water anymore. No, they'd be fought for control of a sunny valley or a south-facing mountain. Power would belong to whoever controls the light. Which brings us to the final and maybe the deepest, most profound transformation of all, the one that happens inside our own heads. How would this totally new way of existing change the human spirit itself? I mean, really think about it for a second. So much of what makes us us, our drive, our ambition, our constant innovation, that restlessness, it all comes from this basic animal need to get resources, to feed ourselves. If that need just disappears, what happens to the fire that drives us forward? And you can really see the difference here. Right now, we are creatures of appetite, right? We're driven by this restless energy, this need to consume. But in this new world, we'd be creatures of equilibrium. We'd live with a calm, patient, almost plant-like rhythm. Our emotions, which are so often fueled by adrenaline and desire, they'd probably become much more stable, just linked to the flow of sunlight. Even our ethics might shift, away from survival of the fittest and towards a system based on balance and integration. Our entire perspective on our place in the world would have to change. We'd stop being the planet's predators or its parasites. We'd stop being conquerors. Instead, we would become true partners. We'd just be woven into the global cycle of life, just another part of the system. But there's a catch. This beautiful, balanced new existence, it has one terrifying central flaw. A single massive volcanic eruption, or a big asteroid impact, anything that blocks out the sun for a long time, that wouldn't just be a disaster. It would be an extinction-level event. Our new greatest strength, a reliance on the sun, would also be our single greatest weakness. And that's really the paradox we're left with, isn't it? To achieve this perfect balance with nature, this quiet, sustainable life, we might have to give up the very things that made us human in the first place. Our ambition, our desire, that restless fire. So the real question isn't just, what if we breathed carbon dioxide? It's, after all that, would we even be human anymore?